Hey guys, welcome back to welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we're gonna be reviewing was there anybody at Etude House that was like, look, Etude House, the name of this collection, the My Little Nut collection, like not even Crystal, the model for Etude House, she at no point was she like, Etude House, like, don't you think the name's a little weird? But you know what, maybe I'm just being perverted, my mind is in the gutter. But yeah, anyway, the My Little Nut collection. I'm a little late on this because this holiday collection came out several weeks ago, so I was kind of late to hop onto it, but I received it, so we're gonna talk about it. Because there's some, like, overall, it's an alright collection. However, there is a set of products that's absolute must-have. Absolute must-have. So, let's get started. Oh, and I'm gonna do this kind of like a get ready with me style, so as I'm applying, I'm gonna give you my kind of review, especially also because that will help me like remember, because there's so many products on my mind right now that it's hard to remember how I feel about certain things. So we're going to dive into it, and yeah, I don't have everything. I know there was like a perfume and like nail polishes, but if there's a certain product that you're interested in, I'll put a timestamp here somewhere to show you which parts you can just skip to that product and see that review. First and foremost, can we talk about the packaging? Well, first of all, this is the box. We don't need the boxes, but like, the cushion, the lipsticks, they're all so freaking pretty. And Etude House is more on the affordable side, but all of this collection, all the packaging feels very weighted and substantial. Like, I would just buy a whole collection for like the packaging, to be honest with you. But we're not here for that. We need the review. So I'm going to start off with the Any Cushion Cream Filter. I have a whole review on this, and you all know I don't really care for this product at all. Really fantastic if your skin is great already, if you have dry skin, because the formula is really moist, but the coverage is like not there at all. It's one of those new type of like netted foundations. However, I did find a way to make it work. I learned this trick from a makeup artist. You can actually, not just a cream filter, but you can actually do this with any cushion foundation. I'm taking a foundation, I'm going to pour a little bit out onto the cap here, and I'm actually going to mix the two. And the really moist formula of this mixed with the more dry, matte, full coverage formula of this makes the perfect base for me. And what I've discovered is that because this is so moist, like it's really, really moist, when I set everything with my powder, it comes to a really good balance of like a natural look to the skin because it's so moist, but then my powder is very like mattifying, so it reaches like a good in between. You can think of it as sort of like, you know, when you use like foundation, concealer, powder, all your powder products, and then you mist everything down with like a facial mist, and it all kind of melts into the skin. It's kind of like that same effect, however, via a different method. So I'm taking the Double Lasting Foundation, one of my all-time favorite foundations from Etude House, just pouring a little bit onto the cap. I have the cushion in sand, and I have the foundation in tan. Really good matches for my skin tone. So I'm getting a little bit on the sponge with the foundation, then kind of tapping it into the cream cushion part, and then I'm just going to dab it on my skin. I've already primed my face using the 3CE, that pore filling thing. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to add under eye corrector, because I'm not going to be using concealer. This is the Clio corrector. Okay, back to the foundation. Rosie's trying to avoid them brows. Then I'm going to set everything with a mattifying loose translucent powder. So to reiterate, do I like this foundation? It's okay. If I do it with like the foundation, that whole method thing, then yeah, it's alright. And I enjoy it that way. But as a standalone product, don't even bother with this unless your skin, like I said, is really good already. You don't need that much coverage, and it's more on the normal to dry side, and you want that glow because it really gives you that glow. And glow in the sense that it's like moist, like I just put on a mist or like moisturizer kind of glow, not like shimmer glow. Alright? Okay. Next, we've got these Lucky Cheek Beams. These are very reminiscent of like the, what is it? The Benefit, you know, the tints. However, these are more like, they have like a doe foot applicator sort of thing. And this one is in the shade Coconut Coral. So kind of corally shade. And then this one is in Cashew Nut Beige. Much sheerer. You probably can't even see it. They're okay. They're very glittery. So if your skin is like mine, where it's very textured, especially here on the cheeks, you've got like acne scar, you've got bumpiness, it's not gonna translate well. These will look beautiful on people with what is it? Very perfect smooth skin. When you blend it out, the coral one, it can register as like a blush, definitely. The beige one is definitely more of just like a beigey highlight. Can you see that? I'm sorry. You probably can't notice here, but when I put it on my cheeks, it definitely looks more like, it just comes off as like glitter to me, to be honest. I don't really like the application system. It's very like, you get like, I know they're trying to keep it so that you don't get too much product on the thing, but sometimes I just feel like it's not enough product, so then you have to keep dipping back into the actual bottle. I'll put a little bit on the top of the cheekbones. And also, I don't really like that it's a doe foot applicator because it's kind of hard. So if you have foundation underneath, you might risk like swiping off your foundation. I feel like I have to pat it in because you really don't get that much on the brush. And I was expecting to like have it leave like a sheen on the skin, but even on unpowdered skin, there's not much of like a glow like I was saying with like the foundation. It gives you like that moist glow. It kind of almost turns like matte in a way, so all you're left with is just like shimmer. So these products I don't really recommend unless your skin is just like, so far it seems like this collection is great for people with great skin. Really great if you want to have one of those like no makeup days, maybe a little bit of tinted moisturizer. You can put this on the tops of your cheeks, you know, the highlight areas. You can even put it on like your lids, kind of blend it out, and you get like a really you can build it up, but like you can be left with like a really, you know, natural sheen to the skin. But if you build it up more, you get more glitter, so it's more like, you know, it packs a little bit more punch. But like overall, see, like it's just like shimmer, you know what I mean? So don't really care for these things, but if you are on like the much fairer, lighter side, the coral one would make a really pretty blush, like on the cheeks, I guess. Now time for like the biggest disappointments of this collection, the eyeshadows. Now, first of all, the packaging, gorgeous, and they feel really, they don't feel cheap at all. Was so excited for these, especially this one. You see all these really beautiful smoky colors, and of course these ones really cute, very holiday-ish. I don't know, like the pigmentation of these is really not that great. I like to apply, especially if you're going to be using multiple colors, I like to use brushes. They look terrible with brushes. With fingers, they look pretty good with fingers, but even then, you definitely have to blend them in because there's quite a bit of fallout and like powderiness. Like you stick your brush in, it's already like, and there's like all this powderiness, fallout. Even with your fingers, there's a little bit of that. And if you're going to use your fingers, like even with a primer, like you can't get that much precision with it, you know what I mean? To give you an idea of how they all look, I'm going to insert a swatch clip like right here, right now. The packaging alone, y'all, I would snatch this shit right up, like right up real quick. This one here is Lucky Red Little Nut, and this one over here is Wish Blue Little Nut. I cannot get over the names. Anyway, let's get to swatching. I'm going to be doing a row of finger swatches, and on the other side, I'm going to be doing a row of brush swatches. I'm going to use Real Techniques one, so it's all kind of even. It's just a regular synthetic brush, and then to clean off the brush, I'm going to use my color switch in between colors so that we don't mix any of them. For our first swatch, we have Hey Good Nut, kind of like a really warm reddish brown that has a little bit of like red sparkle running through it. Almost looks bronze on camera, but actually yes, that would be a bronze, Edward. That is a bronze. Then we have Mary Nut, a really bright baby pink. but it's very sheer. Lots of sparkle though. Combination of yellow, blue, purple, pink, yellow. Just yellow twice. Sparkles running through. So more like a shadow topper, I think. Then we have the matte toffee latte. A little chalky. Kind of not that pigmented, because you can see it's very sheer. And that was a finger swatch. Brush swatches tend to be a little sheer. Oh, had to move them over because everyone's running out of space. Then we have Candy Fairy. A kind of, almost like a grapefruit type of sparkle. It's very similar to Mary Nut, but if you were to take that color and, oh my god, make it more of a grapefruit color. Slightly more pigmented, but say about the same amount of shimmer. Lots of pink, yellow, cool tone shimmers in there. That's a really pretty color. Then we've got Nutcracker. Very powdery. They're all very powdery. Just have to blend it out. It's a very shiny pink and red. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really pretty color. It's almost like a duochrome because when you, as you can see when I shift my hand, there's a bit of that duochrome to it. It kind of shifts to like a yellow, but from the initial swatch, like as a flat color, it's like very pink red. And then last but not least, we have what is this? Red Brick. As the name suggests, it's a very red brown, kind of similar to this one, but much more red. This would be great for in the crease as your transition color. Not exactly as pigmented as I would like it to be. Let me try adding another layer. There we go. But as for like one swatch, pigmentation's alright. Really pretty palette, however, they're all very powdery. If you're using your fingers to apply, you definitely need to blend them in with your fingers so that all the fallout lays flat, but if you're just using a brush, you're definitely gonna get a lot more fallout. So let's move on to the brush swatches. Much more sheer. She's alright. You definitely get more of the actual sparkles in there rather than the actual pigment. So I would probably apply that with my finger. This one, absolute fail with a brush. You get way more fallout than actual pigment on the skin. It's like I didn't apply anything. Same deal as with Mary Nut, Candy Fairy, you get more sparkle than actual pigment. You still get the same amount of sparkle even from a finger swatch, but it's just that the pigment is much less. Yet again, another shade you want to use with your finger. I don't know if you can see it on the brush, but it has a lot of pickup of pigment, so you're gonna get a lot of fallout with this one. On a brush. Oh, you can see that right there. With this one, you're getting less of, you get a lot of fallout for one, but you're not really getting that duochrome effect like I was talking about here. It's kind of just the reddish pink pigment. Absolute fail with a brush as well. This entire side with the brushes is just not that great. It's much better with your finger. This one, very patchy. Not very even in terms of pigmentation. It would probably work well if you're just using it like in the crease and you just need to fluff in some color. You can probably, let me try building it up. Yep, still patchy. So I don't know, maybe you can just blend out the edge with a brush. Maybe you can just build up some of that color in the crease. I don't know what you do that, but as you can tell, obviously with a brush, it's not as great as with the fingers. And as you can tell, this palette is it's very powdery, a lot of fallout. The pigmentation is fantastic if you use your fingers, but I don't know if you get a complete eye look without using a brush. If you only use your fingers, I don't know how far you can stretch the number of looks that you can get, but yeah, I don't know. But I think the swatches speak for themselves. Now moving on to Wish Blue Little Nut. I was really excited for this one because the colors are absolutely gorgeous. You've got your cool tones here, which are great for shading the eyes. Then you've got your really deep tones here, great for adding definition or adding interest to the eyes. And then of course you've got your little top coat, what I would consider top coats right here. So let's get to switching. Here you've got chestnut, really cool brown, almost gray in a way. I probably can't probably can't tell on the camera. But it has a little bit of like gold shimmer in it, just a tiny bit. You can imagine the grayish brown cousin of Hey Goodnut in the other palette. Then you've got Nutshell, a really matte, cool taupey sort of color. Really gorgeous for maybe the crease or adding definition to the eyes. Then you've got Snowy Forest, a really pretty, sparkly, shimmery, again, that sort of top coat kind of eyeshadow. Not much pigment, but it's mostly just sparkle. Lots of white, gold, pearlescent shimmers in it. Really, really pretty. This is Winter Soldier. I was really excited about this color. This is like a really deep midnight blue. Dark black and navy almost. Has a very pretty metallic sheen to it. A little tiny bit patchy, even with a finger swatch. There are, do you see that? A little bit of skin showing through, but overall it's alright. I think there's a tiny bit of sparkle, but I think more so than not, it registers more as like a metallic finish. And the Night Kingdom, a gorgeous, gorgeous black. However, it's quite patchy. The shimmers are really pretty. There's a bit of like, I would say it's almost like glitter almost. Kind of basic white glitter in there. I really wish this would have been more pigmented and less patchy, but what can you do? These two colors in fact almost look really similar. And then last but not least, Rat King. Kind of really pretty periwinkle sort of shade that has a bit of a duochrome finish to it in a way. In some lights it almost shines off a little bit like pink. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Get another swatch. Right there. These shades down here are alright. These ones are a little bit patchy, even with fingers, so that's probably going to give you like a preview of the brush swatches and how terrible those are probably going to be. So here's Chestnut. Oh. Oh. What is that? What is that? No pigment. Yeah, that's clearly not the same thing. Clearly. You could probably use this to blend into the crease, maybe, using a brush. So you get a really soft gradient, but the Nutshell. Oh my god, do you see that? What the yeah, that's not even, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's cute. That's so cute. Yes! Pigment, come through! For these next two colors, I remember I tried using them with brushes, all sorts of brushes. They both, like, were terrible. What the fuck is this? What the hell is that? Please explain to me what that is, Etude House. From what I can remember, I remember putting both of these on with a brush, and I was like, what is the difference? Look at that, look how bad that is. Ugh. And then Rat King. Oh my god, this is like really bad. There you go. There's your brush and your finger swatches. Again, like the last one, you'll probably fare better with your fingers. You know what? Let me try the sponge applicator that's inside of the palette. This one is Night Kingdom. Oh, really, really patchy. Here's Nutshell. So it's like, again, patchy. It's between, you know, a finger and a brush swatch, but I don't know. I really, if you're the kind of person that's into like really simple looks where you can just brush a color onto the lid with your finger, then that's fine. But if you're the kind of person like me that prefers to use brushes, then you're probably not going to get much use out of these palettes. As much as I love Etude House eyeshadows, these, I don't know, their palettes are always hit or miss. They're always never as pigmented and creamy and soft and no fallout-y as their single eyeshadows. It's probably just the fact that it's in a palette, so they have to change the formula a little bit. If you have more knowledge of that, sound off in the comments and let us know how that works. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It seems that the really shimmery, glittery colors are at fault here, while the more matte colors they fade a little better, but again, with the finger swatch. With brushes, these palettes are kind of like, eh. It's just a shame because they're so pretty and they're very weighted, so they feel like there's substantialness to them, so they feel like, I don't know. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how I feel about these eyeshadows. Now, I don't know which one I want to use. I'm not going to do anything crazy. You can definitely get some looks if you work hard enough and use the right tools, but I don't know. Like, in this day and age, like, I expect more, especially out of Etude House, because their single shadows are amazing, but These ones are really just whatever to me. I primed my lids with some concealer and I put a beige shadow over to set it. So I guess that's how I primed my lids. Actually, you know what? Just kidding. Let me use the red one because it has more colors that I would use like on a daily basis. As you know, because I'm not that exciting with my eyeshadow. That's cute, I guess. I'm gonna add this to kind of the inner portion right here. God, they're so patchy. Oh my god. Do you see this? Oh god. Jesus! The fallout. Here I am trying to brush away all the little fallout and stuff, but I end up just wiping off all the stuff that I put on. Terrible. Let me try my finger. Oh girl, ooh. So much better. So much better. Then a bit of mascara. As usual, Etude House Long Lash. Love this. Ride or Die mascara here. Now, time for my favorite product. The only product I honestly feel like worth getting from this collection. The lipsticks. The packaging alone. Oh my bitch, I'm fucking living, cunty. Yeah. Okay, if you're like me and you have butthole lips for days, super crusty, very sensitive, like no matter, like if you exfoliate, it still looks dry, cracked. These lipsticks are like a godsend. I don't know if these are already lipsticks that I already have, but whatever. They're fucking amazing. Now, they're not matte at all by any means. They're super creamy and very moisturizing and very glossy. But they have emollients in them that really smooth out. Even during the swatches, which I'll have swatches right here. Despite all the wiping and removing during the lip swatches, usually doing something like that would really make my lips look terrible. But each time it's like putting on a really moisturizing lip treatment, so it really revives my lips in a way. It really makes them look plump and juicy again. They do transfer and they're not gonna stay on your lips forever. I don't even mind reapplication because it's like putting on lip balm again. It's not like trying to put another lipstick on top where it can end up like layering and turning disgusting. All the colors are this really pretty fall wintry vibe. They have a bit of like that deepness to them, which would make it really great even for people of color. It just really pops. I'm not really a big fan of the orange because I feel like every Etude House lipstick collection has to have like an orange, but I feel like it's more of like a summer shade, to be honest. There you have the OR07. Standard orange, a little bit more on the warmer side, not too bright, so it still has a little bit of depth to it, so it's not gonna like look like a really harsh like white based orange on the lips. These are in no particular order, by the way. And then here we have RD305, a kind of like brownie pink sort of shade. Very nice My Lips But Better kind of shade. Then we have BE103, a kind of raspberry, almost like the last shade, but definitely more of a berry tone to it. If you're too scared of wearing like deep browns but you want to get into it, this has a bit of that berry reddish vibe to it, so it's not going to look too like brown on the lips. Then we have my personal favorite, PK010. This is a kind of a pink shade. Has a little bit of depth to it, almost leaning to a red, but there's a bit of like a blueness to it. I feel like it's like a blue sheen to it, so I think it makes it look really interesting and really pretty, especially when you put it on fully. I love the shade. It's really pretty. And then last but certainly not least, 3D309. This shade is like if you take your classic holiday red lipstick, you kind of shifted it a little bit more pink, this is the kind of color that you would get. Really, really pretty. Also super pigmented. Probably the most pigmented out of all of them from what I can see on my hand, at least from what I remember. The clips were, the lip swatch clips were recorded days ago. Overall, these colors are so freaking pretty, and they're so buildable. Like, you keep putting them on, but it's not gonna look like grocery. If anything, it's like the emollients and like the lip conditioners in the lipstick are gonna make your lips look better. So I think that's fantastic. Because they're so creamy, they will feather out. So I would probably recommend using a lip liner first if you're gonna put them on like full on, like onto your lips. For me, I'm gonna put them on as kind of like lip gradient. Let me try it here. Let me put my favorite one on first. These are definitely not like one swipe sort of colors because you definitely have to build them up. They're kind of just going to sit on the lips and look kind of weird if you just try to put it on one, like a really quick swipe. Really cute. And then I'm going to take that really classic-y red sort of shade. Bitch, did I just cover up that pink with that red one? Oh my god. Whatever, I probably could have just used the red one. But again, me trying to be all extra and shit. So do I recommend the lipsticks? Yes. A+, absolute must-have. Just get the lipsticks. That's all I would get the lipsticks. There's my review of the new My Little Nut collection from Etude House. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any questions for me about the collection, then leave them down below and I'll try to answer them. And yeah, I'll link everything if you're interested in any of the products. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Love you. Mwah. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.